Alright, some amazing stuff here. What is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Some brand new, and might I add, explosive UFO footage, groundbreaking as it's being called, has just come to light, released by the Chilean Navy, of an object captured once again on one of these FLIR cameras, which, if you don't know, stands for Forward-Looking Infrared. So a recent Huffington Post article broke this story a couple days ago, and we'll just sort of go through the article here. An exceptional 9-minute Navy video, which is the one you're seeing here, of a UFO displaying highly unusual behavior studied by Chilean authorities for the last 2 years, is now being released to the public. The CEFAA, or the Chilean government agency which investigates UFOs, or UAPs, which stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, has been in charge of the investigation. The DGAC, which is the equivalent of our FAA here in America, military experts, technicians, and academics from many disciplines have looked at this footage. None of them have been able to explain this strange flying object captured by 2 experienced Navy officers from a helicopter. Now, as I'm talking here, you're seeing this helicopter tracking this object, which is very far in the distance, and you may not see it yet due to not only its distance, but also because they haven't fully flipped over to infrared yet. But continue watching as I'm talking about this, and you'll see this object come to light. So the Chilean government agency always makes its cases public when an investigation is complete, and acknowledges the existence of a UFO when a case merits such a conclusion. General Ricardo Bermudez, the director of CEFFA, during the investigation told the Huffington Post that, quote, "We do not know what it was, but we do know what it was not. And what it was not comprises a long list of conventional explanations, including airliners, birds, kites, weather balloons, things of that nature, all which have been ruled out." So, on November 11th, 2014, a Chilean Navy helicopter, or an Airbus Cougar AS-532, was on a routine daytime patrol mission flying north along the coast, west of Santiago. On board were the pilot, a Navy captain with many years of flying experience, and a Navy technician who is using a Westcam MX-15 HD forward infrared camera, or FLIR, which are used most often for medium-altitude covert intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The aircraft was flying at an altitude of about 4,500 feet on a clear afternoon. The helicopter was flying at about 132 knots, or 152 miles per hour. The article goes on to state that at 1:52 p.m., while filming the terrain, the technician observed a strange object flying to the left over the ocean. Soon, both men observed it with the naked eye. They noticed that the velocity and the altitude of the object appeared to be about the same as the helicopter, and estimated the object was approximately 35 to 40 miles away. The technician then aimed the camera at the object immediately and zoomed in with the infrared camera for better clarity. Shortly thereafter, the pilot contacted 2 radar stations in order to report the unknown traffic. Neither station could detect this object on radar, although it was easily picked up by the helicopter. Not to mention, this UFO was well within the range of radar detection. Air traffic controllers confirmed that no traffic, either civilian or military, had been reported in the area, and that no aircraft had been authorized to fly in the controlled airspace where the object was located. The onboard radar was also unable to detect the object, and the camera's radar could not lock onto it. So then the pilot tried several times to communicate with the UFO, using the multinational civilian bandwidth designed for this purpose, and he received no reply. As you're seeing in this video here, the technician filmed the object for 9 minutes and 12 seconds, mainly in infrared. The sensor produces a black and white video in which the black, white, and gray tones are directly related to the temperature. IR, or infrared, detects heat, and the hotter the material being filmed, the darker it appears on the image. The officers stopped the camera when they had to return to the base and the object disappeared behind the clouds. The Navy immediately turned over the footage, and they were absolutely certain that they could not explain what they saw. Both officers also provided written reports at the base, as is required for the investigation. The Navy captain stated that the object was, quote, a flat, elongated structure with two thermal spotlight-like discharges that did not coincide with the axle of motion. But there's also something else very interesting about this footage, and that comes in the form of what the pilots described as a discharge of some type of gas or liquid or something that came from this object in at least 2 instances in this footage. At a little over the 8-minute mark, where we see this massive plume of very hot material, as captured in this video, trailing behind the object. And remember, this trail was not there in the original 8 minutes, and they've also ruled out this being any type of aircraft, so this is not a plane. This is definitely something else, and it is indeed bizarre. So basically, over the past 2 years since this happened, there have been at least 8 meetings that have been held with members of the FAA, the scientific committees, the Air Force, International Affairs Director Jose Ley, where, according to the article here, the general tone of the meetings was astonishment. What the hell was this thing? No agreement could be reached to explain the video. Theories that were proposed were ruled out by the data. Now again, I reiterate that they have ruled out this object being any type of human or man-made aircraft. Chilean experts knew that this would have been impossible, and for a number of reasons. One of the most primary was that the plane, if this were a plane, would have been seen on primary radar, and it would have had to have been cleared for landing in Santiago or at another airport. It would also have likely responded to radio communications. Nor did they take on the shape of this object. They also said, well, possibly could this be space debris from the Russians, from the Chinese? And again, this was quickly ruled out when it was confirmed that no space debris had entered the atmosphere on that date and in that location. Furthermore, such an object, if it were space debris, would have quickly fallen through the atmosphere, burned up, or crashed into the Earth and would not have flown horizontally. Now, I will send you over to the Huffington Post article where you can read more about this, about their findings, and there's a lot of great information here, but the bottom line here is that they have no idea what this was, and if this was not one of ours, and it was not an animal, a bird, a kite, a hot air balloon, swamp gas, light reflecting off of Venus, then honestly, where did this craft come from? And who was piloting it? This is one of the most puzzling and fascinating cases to ever come out of Chile. And they've had hundreds of experts looking at this thing. They have no idea. They're baffled. And again, we have featured footage on this channel in the past, whether it be through police helicopter infrared cameras, Homeland Security cameras also using infrared, even to infrared cameras that were captured from space on the International Space Station, all of which where we have captured UFOs, unidentified objects, maneuvering, flying at high velocities, making sharp turns that could not be done by anything here on Earth. And, I mean, honestly, guys, do I really need to say more? Do I really need to say out loud where these craft come from? And that they are obviously not from Earth? Not to mention they have the ability to cloak themselves and to only appear in infrared and do not show up on radar. Need I say more? So, this is, in my opinion, an amazing piece of footage, and this is what I was talking about when I said that 2017 was going to bring some big things. I mean, it's only the 6th day of the month, and here we are with this massive, undeniable piece of evidence proving once again that our skies are full of these invisible craft that are moving above us, hidden in plain sight. Amazing times we are living in. And to the skeptics here, or the haters who like to attack us as tinfoil hat wearers, all I can say, dude, is look at the footage, look at the data, and tell me I'm wrong. give me an explanation for once. Because this is the real deal here, people. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to share and like on your way out. I really appreciate it. Let's get this footage out there. Share this video. And I will see you guys back soon with much more, a lot of strange things going on. So thanks for stopping by and stay safe.